I believe that when you embark on your minimalism journey, the most important thing is that you understand your why. Why do you want to live a more simple life? So today I'm going over some of the benefits of minimalism. Hey, what's up? Today I'm going to talk about some of the biggest benefits of minimalism, so let's jump right in and without further ado, let's get started. Minimalism can save you a lot of money. When you don't buy things you don't need, you spend less money. And when you don't have that much stuff, you also don't need that much space to store your stuff, so you can move to a smaller house or a smaller apartment, which will also save money. You could even live without a car and just walk or take the bike everywhere, which would also save a lot of money. And something that many people forget when it comes to the cost of things is that you don't only pay the cost for the thing itself, but that there are a lot of costs associated to it. For example, when you buy a TV, you will probably also buy a cable subscription, you will buy a DVD player and DVDs. There's the electricity bill, you probably have some streaming service subscriptions, so there's always a lot of costs attached to it. And if you buy a car, you will also have to pay for gas and for repair, so there's always a lot of costs in addition to the cost of the thing itself. When you have less stuff, you also have less of the associated stuff, so there's really a ripple effect that the less you own, the less you spend. Then minimalism will save you a lot of time. When your living expenses are lower, you don't have to work as much, so you could afford to work part-time instead of full-time, or even retire early if you make some wise investments. Most people spend their entire lives working, so this is really a great benefit. When you have a smaller space, it's also a lot faster to clean, so that will also save you time. And when you live an intentional life, you're also more likely to be more intentional about the way you spend your time in general. So you might watch less TV, or you might spend less time on your phone and on social media, and in the end you will just end up with a bunch more free time. I believe that minimalism can help us to live a more meaningful life. Now, don't get me wrong, I don't think there's anything intrinsically meaningful about owning very few possessions. But when you have more money and more free time, that gives you a lot of freedom, and it gives you the freedom to pursue things that are meaningful to you. Most people spend their entire day working, and then in the evening they come home and they are so exhausted that they can't do anything but just sit on the couch and watch TV. And there's not much room left for meaning. As a minimalist, you have the freedom to walk away from a job that is not fulfilling to you, and you have the time and money to pursue things that are meaningful to you. You can invest more time into your relationships, into pursuing your hobbies, you can invest time in your health, and all this can bring a lot more meaning to your life. But minimalism is not only good for ourselves, it's also very good for the environment. Because whenever we buy something, it harms the environment. It doesn't matter whether we buy a t-shirt or a car or a smartphone, there's always a certain cost on the environment. First, natural resources have to be extracted from the planet, then the products have to be produced, and there's often a lot of harmful chemicals involved in that, and it also produces a lot of waste. Then the products will have to be transported, which causes a lot of CO2 emissions. And in the end, most of the things end up in a landfill, which creates so much waste. And by buying less, we can reduce the impact we have on the environment. But we don't only reduce our own impact by buying less, we also send a signal to the economy. And if enough people do that and decide to buy less, but to be more intentional about the things they buy and, for example, buy sustainable and ethical products, then this is a signal to the economy that people don't want more stuff, but that we want more ethical and more sustainable and more high quality stuff. And if enough people do this, this can really have a great impact on the planet. Minimalism makes our lives less stressful. When you don't have to worry about money as much anymore, then this really takes a lot of the stress out of your life. Money problems for many people are a great source of stress, and minimalism really helps to remove that source of stress. Another big source of stress for many people is their career. Many people have very stressful jobs with tight deadlines, and they always have the pressure to perform, and they may have to do things that they don't particularly enjoy doing, and minimalism gives you the freedom to walk away from a career like that. which also removes a lot of stress from your life. But also owning less in itself can really promote a stress-free life. I think that there is something very peaceful and calming about a clean, minimalist space, especially when you compare it to a living space that is really cluttered with a bunch of stuff. All these things kind of send us silent messages and always distract us and cause a lot of stress. And minimalism removes all of that and just reduces the amount of stress we have to experience in our lives. But minimalism doesn't only reduce our stress levels, it also can make us happier in general. Buddhism teaches that attachment is the key source of all suffering. That is because when we attach ourselves to something, we make our well-being and our happiness dependent on something that is outside of our control. And everything is impermanent, so when our happiness is dependent on something outside of ourselves, we are bound to suffer at some point because nothing lasts forever. And minimalism, I believe, is a very powerful tool to learn to let go and to let go of attachment. Now, some people believe that when you let go of attachment, that means you don't put value on something. For example, that if you are not attached to a person, that means you don't love them. But that's not the case. You can love a person without being attached to them. And you can get value out of something and appreciate something without being attached to it. That means you can appreciate something while it lasts, but when at some point it doesn't serve you any longer, you're able to let it go. And also, if you lose something or something breaks or something gets stolen, you don't suffer as a consequence because you're not attached to it. You appreciate it while you had it, but now that it's gone, you can let go and move on. And I think when we're able to do that, it makes our life so much better and it improves the quality of our lives and our well-being a lot. These were some of the, in my opinion, most important benefits of minimalism. Let me know in the comments below which of the benefits of minimalism is the most important one to you. It might be one of the benefits that I talked about or something else. And I hope you found this video interesting. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, please like this video. It helps me a lot. And subscribe to this channel if you want to see more videos like this. And I see you guys if you want in my next video.